All right, so this is Steve and Ross here. I'm Steve, this is Ross. And we basically wanted to do a weekly video log where we just talk about our experience with the program as of this point. So one of the things we're going to talk about is basically like what we used to do while we were training and what we're doing now. The differences that we had when we were entering this program and our initial skepticism at first and our results as of, I think, we were doing the HOT program before the HOT contest, so as of a little while now. I think it's over a month and a half now.
Probably about 2.
Yeah, probably around 2
when it
months
came
of
out.
doing HRT.
Yeah, it came out October 28th, I think.
So initially I was doing a 3x8, but I just switched to a 12-10-8-6 program where it increased weight every new set. And I was really liking that program because it enabled me to do some heavy ass weight at the end of the set. So I felt pretty good about that because I like putting up heavy weight, and that's just something that makes you feel good in the gym. Strokes your ego a little bit, and really helps you out, and really drives you to push further. And I think Ross, you were doing a.
I was doing, I've always been big on just the old school methods. HRT is the only newer type of workout program I've ever really experimented with. I've always been kind of a skeptic, because all I've ever read was Arnold's Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding and the Weider approach, or is it Weider? I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Joe Weider's book. Anyway, but, and Arnold talks about doing the 12-10-8-6, 4 sets to completely exhaust the muscle and increase that way, and that's where I've seen the most visible gains in size, which is why when HRT came out, I was very interested in finding out what it was, because I know about Animal. I have a lot of respect for the guys who represent Animal. But when Tom talked about 2 sets of 8 plus 4, I was very skeptical initially, because I felt like how can you completely exhaust a muscle group with one exercise of 2 sets? So this is definitely the first time I've really experimented with something different.
Yeah, no, I was actually in the exact same boat. I remember thinking 2 sets. I was like, I do 4 sets. I increase weight each time, and I can complete those without a failure until the very last set. The idea of 2 sets leading to failure was kind of like in my mind, like, I'm just not going to get tired, I'm going to be, on the rest day, I'll have tons of energy left over, and I'll want to go work out again, feeling like I didn't get a good workout. That was initially my concern.
Definitely not the case.
Yep, no, definitely not the case.
Definitely not the case. I'm going to say, for me, I've seen more rapid gains in visible muscle with HRT than any other programs I've done. Now, I'm not a scientist. I don't know the strength.
He's not a scientist.
I'm definitely,
I can vouch for that.
Definitely not. I don't know. I don't know about the strength aspect and this and that. All I know is my muscles look when I'm in the gym and after the gym and on rest days, my muscles look bigger, more defined, and are significantly more vascular than they have been over this past 2 months than with any other program I've done. And granted, obviously I was getting results and I was getting gains from the way I used to lift, but this is quicker. It's quicker and it's more intense. I mean, like Steve talked about rest days. We used to hate rest days and just want to go to the gym as soon as we could. Sometimes I would just go anyway and just hit a lagging muscle group, something that was behind, maybe like something smaller, like triceps or biceps or calves, something that could recover quickly. But with HRT, on my rest days, and I know Steve is the same way, we're pretty much shot. I'm hungry all the time. I'm really tired. And that's all I can do. The idea of going to the gym on a rest day is like, there's absolutely no way.
No, I ended up I have jiu-jitsu every single rest day, which is kind of funny. Like, our schedule works out so that the days that it's rest days, I have jiu-jitsu at like 9 o'clock in the morning for 3 hours. And that's been a very painful experience as of this point. Everyone's wondering, like, why'd you get so bad all of a sudden? I'm going there and he'll have us do bear crawls for 45 minutes, and I'm fumbling over on myself and like wondering what the hell am I doing this for, and like why does everything hurt so bad, and so it's been kind of an interesting experience there. But one thing I will say is, with the HRT program, the thing that I am finding is that there's 2 really clear benefits, and that's one is the slow negatives have been really helpful. First off, I feel like they're working like stabilizer muscles because I suddenly have better control over the same weights that I used to do, where I'd really fatigue after like 8 reps. Now I don't feel any fatigue until it's time for the HOT portion, those 4 reps that kill you at the end. So maybe that's a sign that eventually we can go up, but we're still dropping weight, just trying to make sure that we put on 50 to 70,
like 70 to 80. That's like the goal. We don't like to even bump up the weight until there's about 80% pressure of that weight being put on the bar by the partner or the weights or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, initially because we were going up in weight so quick, I think we first started doing this program because we did notice some like immediate gains. But we tried to increase the pressure a lot and really slow down the negatives, which, I mean, obviously it sucks. Nobody likes to lower weight when they go to the gym. Like, we all, if you've been lifting for a while, you know what I'm talking about. It sucks, you know? It's not like a good feeling to have to put less on the bar than you know you can do. But, I mean, it really is. It's kind of crazy. You know, you pump out those first 8 reps, and then, like Tom said in the initial video, which is another thing I was skeptical about, it really is, like, survival. You know, when Steve's pushing down on that bench after I just did my 8, it's just like, I need to do this. I don't want this bar to smash me in the face because you know what I mean? Because he's putting 80% pressure on, and I'm just like, finish it, you know? Like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I tell him I will let it drop on his face, you know, as motivation.
It helps me, you know what I mean? Knowing the threat of death actually motivates me, gets my adrenaline pumping a lot. So it helps to have a supportive spotter. It really does.
And that kind of leads into the second thing I was going to say about HOT programs. It gets you working with a partner, and that's one thing that I've been noticing has been of enormous benefit. Because sometimes, you know, I sell myself short. I'm just like, I kind of want to take it easy, you know. And, you know, this is a trap that I kind of feel like I can fall into sometimes, you know, just because I have a very rigorous schedule. Sometimes I could just try to not push myself as hard as it is. And that's, you know, attitude is very important. And that rarely happens. But when it does, you know, Ross here kind of keeps me in check. And he says, I think you can go up, you know, or he's like, I'm going to push harder or slow it down, you know. And he really keeps me on track and exactly what the program should be working. So I kind of feel that that's the second benefit to this program. You know, is that you have a partner who's going to understand you real well, and he's going to make sure that you do fail on that last set, that you do push yourself to that level, you know, where you just can't do anymore. And that's really been beneficial.
And one thing we've noticed is that Steve and I we have motivational strategies for each other that we've developed throughout this program. For example, like we said, the hardest part is when you get to those 4 health-centric reps. That's definitely the toughest part of the set. And Steve and I work under very different types of motivation. He will do better if he thinks he's not doing well enough. Like, if he thinks, like, I suck, I could do better. Like, if I belittle him during that set, which I do, I tell him, dude, I'm barely, like, sometimes I'm lying to him most of the time. I'm like, dude, I'm barely pushing, you could do better. He will hit it harder. It pisses him off, and he works harder, right?
That stems from wrestling. I used to wrestle, and, you know, we have those sadist coaches that always tell us, you know, you're a piece of shit while you're wrestling, so you work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Ross is different. Ross, you know, I tell him, I'm like, every girl in the gym is looking at you, waiting for you to put this up because it's so impressive.
No, and it makes me work out a lot harder. He calls me Ferrigno when he's putting on the pressure, and it helps me, you know what I mean? Because if he tells me I'm different, where if he's like, I'm not really pushing that hard, dude, like, you're not doing that well, I get like discouraged, and I'm like, ugh. But even if that is the case, if I'm not working as hard as I could, Steve will tell me, dude, you're the man, everybody's staring at you, and I will hit it 10 times harder once I know that, or think that. It's a delusion, but the thought of that pushes me to, like, really go, and then he puts on more pressure, and I explode for the rest of the set. It's how we both operate, and we know that about each other, you know? We're very different in that aspect. So, what else well, what do you want to talk about?
I think it'd be kind of funny just to talk about, you know, our scheduling. So this is kind of a funny thing. We basically, we've made sure that this program has been number 1, you know, so we've had finals and stuff, because I still have finals, actually.
Yeah, me
and,
too.
You know, I have a final tomorrow, and I'm going to the gym today, and, you know, doing the confessional now, and I'm still logging my diet, you know, doing everything I'm supposed to do. So it's just kind of funny, you know, like, we actually set up our schedules for next semester so that we could maintain our current schedule and keep going to the gyms that we need to go to, because they're only open at certain times. So it's this,
we have 4 that we have to schedule around.
Yeah, it's this very, you know, it's a very elaborate supply chain management problem, you know, and we've got 4 gyms that are open certain times that have certain machines that we need to reach. And, you know, they're at each different location, so we need to plan ourselves accordingly, and that's what we've been doing. And we're also planning on, with winter break coming up, Ross is going to be in Jersey for a little bit, I'm going to be in Blacksburg. Ross is actually going to come down to Blacksburg, so we don't even miss that many. I think we'll miss, like, one lift together.
We'll make it happen.
Well, it's going to be
We're gonna make it happen.
Christmas.
I'm going to drive from New Jersey to Southern Virginia probably Christmas night after my family goes to sleep. I'm going to, you know, they know what I'm doing and they support me, and so it's going to be a 6-hour drive to work out with Steve for about 4 days, and maybe cut down some trees for his parents. but that's what we're gonna do. It really is number one, like Steve said with the scheduling. I mean, I got an internship recently. I was offered one in DC on Capitol Hill. It's a really good job, and I told them my availability based on when I knew I needed to do Hellraiser training. You know what I mean? I told them I can't work on Tuesdays. They don't know why, but I can't work on Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Because that's bench day, and we need to use that specific gym, which is not open late at night. So it's like we're kind of working around that. You know what I mean? And it like really is. It really is number one. I'm not willing to. I mean, we've come this far. And I don't think either one of us are willing to give up anything for it at this point.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, we just wanted to talk about, H&T program. Skeptical first, absolutely loving it now. Working with a partner and working with a program that really pushes you to your limits is very beneficial for me. And I know Ross is experiencing the same thing. So,
Absolutely.
You'll keep hearing us from in the future, and, have a good one.
Take care, guys. Have a good holiday.